Okay, this is Getting to Know Mojo. We're on episode 7 this week. I'm Mike Taylor. I'm here with my loving associate, Jordan Rogers.
Hey, no, it's me, Joey Spaghetti.
Joey. Hey, Joey.
Hey, what you want, Mike?
What you been up to this week, Joey?
You know, just flexing the guns, going down to the shore, meeting hoes. You know, gym tan laundry.
Gym tan laundry.
I bought me
the
Nutra
weekly
Pump
activities
pills.
of Joey Spaghetti.
Joey Spaghetti,
Joey.
he don't fuck around,
Hey,
man.
Joey.
Joey Spaghetti, he knows the score. Him and Uncle Vinny, me and my Uncle Vinny even. We used to go down at I-85. You know I-85? We used to pack the dead bodies of hookers full of heroin, float them down a bay.
The difference between you and me when we do the Jersey accent is that you keep a straight face the entire time, and I crack.
I mean, you crack up.
I crack. Halfway up to Tony Pajamas.
Hey, Tony, make
Hey,
your mother.
Tony. Deadliest man in Queens.
Hey, deadliest man in his own head. Heavyweight champion of nowhere.
Hey, Mama Pagliari, she taught us well, eh?
She taught you nothing. She ain't. You got a glass jaw. Got a glass jaw and glass fists.
I don't have glass fists. Disclaimer: Mike does not have glass fists.
Yeah, but Tony Pajamas does.
So, what have you been up to this week, Jordan?
Oh my God. Well, I've been. Right, uni started for me this week. I haven't done any classes yet. I only have to go in 2 days a week, but I'm not telling work that.
You say it's on a podcast that people from work listen to.
Yeah, but if they rat me out, Joey's going to deal with them.
Snitches get stitches.
Uncle Vinny's going to float them down a bay filled with fucking heroin
You'll hold your Walmart bought handgun sideways when you go for the kill shot.
I don't think you can buy guns in New Jersey.
What difference? Like, no, you can buy guns in New Jersey.
I'm taking your word for it. I just know that New York's got like one of the strictest gun control laws.
Does it?
Yeah, and Jersey's close to it. In fact, Jersey's like the ugly little brother in New York, isn't it?
Well, people from Jersey would fight you on that.
Yeah, but people from Jersey can't fight, so I think I'll be okay.
All right, okay, you say that, and then tomorrow you wake up and you're at the bottom of a lake with a cinder block attached to your feet. So
I think I'd probably wake up before that happens.
No.
I used to, look, man. I used to do a heavy amount of like
lifting.
No, not lifting. I used to do like heavy amount of pills that put you to sleep. Ain't nothing putting me to sleep. Ain't nothing that I can't wake up from now. And they didn't even like knock me out either.
Is this where we get into your illustrious past where you do a lot of drugs?
I didn't do a lot of drugs. I've never done a lot of drugs. And even then, they were like prescription. It's all okay.
Oh yeah. Prescription.
Yeah.
Heavy quotation marks.
It's not heavy quotation marks.
They were prescribed, but for other people.
That's always amazed me. When you hear about people in America, it's a problem. It's not really a thing here. OxyContin.
Yeah.
And the abuse of OxyContin. That's amazing because it's a prescribed drug. And then I found out how they did it with like the Florida pill mills, and how they'll set up like fake doctor practices in houses.
Right.
There's a whole system. It's really cool finding out how they done it.
Must be quite easy to exploit then.
It is, because that's what's tearing apart Kentucky and the Appalachians right now. It's just, it's pill mills. It's not meth.
I think the Appalachian regions are tearing themselves apart.
I love
with
Appalachia. No, that's an urban myth. Appalachia is probably my favorite bit of the States, because the history of it is way more interesting than the rest of the United States.
You think?
Yeah, because the Appalachians, the stereotype is that they're all inbred and hillbilly racists and stuff, but that's not true, because the people from Appalachia were descended historically from Scots, Irish, and I think Dutch, maybe.
Hey, well, if the people from Brecon are anything to go by.
Well, let me finish because it gets better.
Okay.
So you've got these people who historically have been conquered or enslaved by other stronger countries.
Mm-hmm.
So when they moved to the States, they are very, very like libertarian. They're very like they're anti-government.
Yeah.
But they're not like pro harming other people. That's why you always find them going, I just want to be left alone with my land.
Yeah.
It's because historically that's just what they wanted. They went to the US to get away from France, to get away from England, and they came there, and then there's this government trying to tell them what to do. So when the Civil War broke out, Appalachians by and large weren't like pro slave owning. It was the reason for that is the southern states are from like aristocratic French, German, and English backgrounds who'd have no problem going like, I'm gonna go to Africa and buy me a whole plantation, and that's not okay. But the people in Appalachia didn't do that because they just didn't have any interest in doing that. They were very much just like, keep to ourselves. And that's probably where like the inbreeding thing came from, was being that secluded. Probably did mean there was some overlaps.
I don't know how knowledgeable you might be about this particular subject, but when I was in America, loads of people asked me about slaves in Scotland.
Yeah, that happened.
And yeah, I know it happened, but the way that I've always
hear about it.
Yeah, the way that I've always thought of it was that Scotland, Scotland's such a typically poor country. You know, like,
yeah, kind of.
Historically, anyway, like even now, I think you'd find people who would argue that the standard of living in England's higher.
Well, I've heard from Grant Morrison, who admittedly is a magician. He's a comic writer, but he's a practicing chaos magician, all that nonsense. But I think this kind of correlates to real true fact, not coming from magicians. Is the people living in like the east or west end of Glasgow have got like one of the worst standards of living in Europe.
Yeah.
There's like outreach programs and charities that go to those parts of Glasgow, and the only other places they go to are like war-ravaged countries.
Wow.
I think it's just diet and stuff. I think it's just lifestyle. There's a whole brilliant book about it.
Yeah.
About I can't remember what it's called, but it's like a southern London envy or something. It's this feeling that if you're in Scotland, you feel kind of useless.
Yeah. But do you think that the slaves were more prominently in England? Yeah. Like, I know, I don't know if you've ever been to Liverpool, but there's that massive, while you're walking down Liverpool 1, which is like the city centre, there's whole like caves underneath where they used to like just stockpile them. Yeah, basically.
I really don't know. I knew there was slavery in Scotland. Yeah. But again,
well, there must have been.
Well, I know there has to have been like some form of that, because Scotland is the worst country in the world for burning witches.
Was it?
Yeah, it's pretty bad. There's during the whole witch trial things, there was more witches killed in Scotland than anywhere else.
Scotland's always been quite.
It's got a strange amount of history. There's a lot of history we don't know about Scotland. Like everyone knows about the Highland clearances. But when you find out some of the really messed up stuff that happened,
well, Scotland's always been quite.
It's very niche.
Forget the right word, but not spiritual, but they believe in that kind of stuff, you know, like ghosts and shit.
Oh right, yeah, it's got a good history of folklore, because we've got great stuff like Sonny Bean and stuff. That's why one of my favourite books is, it's not even really a book, it's a Call of Cthulhu rule book, and it's called Shadows over Scotland, right? And it's really good. It should actually be a textbook in schools, because he just takes Scottish history and then he puts Lovecraft stuff in it. But you hear about just brilliant stories about like the necropolis, the crypt in Glasgow. There's a good bit about Aberdeen. There's just incredible stuff about lochs and stuff all over the place, and it's great. It's a small little history book, and then it talks about giant monsters and stuff, and it's just as good. But I think a lot of countries don't know their own history if they're not a big one. Yeah. Because Alex, for the longest time, and another Slovakian mate of mine called Mizu, they didn't know Slovakian history in World War II. Right. They had heard the crappy stuff that Slovakia did, which was like selling their Jews to Germany and stuff. But they didn't know that at the same time as that was going on, there was an underground railroad system also happening, where Slovakia was like spiriting Jews off. That's pretty cool. And they never knew about that. Yeah. And then when I told them, I told Alex specifically, she was like talking shit, and then she looked it up, and it's totally true, and she'd never known about that. Her entire life, she didn't know that her own country did this great thing.
There you go then.
I don't know why it is though. I don't know why smaller countries
a lot of countries seem to
told.
have like one or two things that they like either pride or shame themselves on. You know, because America's the obvious one with the Civil War.
Wait, what do you mean?
Well,
they just see it as like, a right and wrong, good and evil thing.
Well, for them, like, America is maybe a bad example because it's quite a young country.
No, that's why it's a great example for anything, because it allows you to look at the psychology of a country.
Yeah, but for them, like the Civil War is such a massive thing. But is it like, you know, it was 200 years ago? It was about owning slaves.
No, right? It wasn't.
Well, you could argue that it was about state rights.
No, that's not what I was going to argue.
Right. Okay.
There's a guy, and I don't remember his name. Complete dick not knowing his name, by the way. But he's, I think he's from Mississippi.
Okay.
He's a black dude.
Okay.
I'm so pissed off I don't know his name, because I preach about him when I have time, and I've blanked his name.
Okay.
And he was the chapter head of like the NAACP there.
Right.
He's he's into the ACLU and all this stuff. Like he's this huge civil liberties guy.
Yeah.
And every day he goes to the main center of his town with a Confederate flag and a Confederate uniform, and he salutes this statue at the State House a couple X amount of times. And his side, I kind of more on the side of, which is that most people in the South did not own slaves. You had to be rich to own slaves because it was a huge investment. He sees it as exactly that, as a state right things. Right. He doesn't argue that there was a racial component. Yeah. He knows there was, and that the aftermath was probably for the better. But he does have a great point about like giving you historical facts of black people being in Confederate armies. And that's an interesting facet, because then that makes the Confederate states far more complex than just these guys are good and these guys in the grey were evil.
The Civil War is interesting, but like it's not my point. My point.
Spanish Civil War is the best Civil War.
Okay, whatever. I'm not even going to fight you on that. Yeah, my point was like even today, like they in the South they don't call it the Civil War.
Okay.
And I think that's bizarre. You know, they call it either the War Among the States, right? Which for me is just a longer way of saying the Civil War.
Yeah.
Or if they're really like anti-North, because there's still that feeling for a lot of people, they call it the War of Northern Aggression.
Yeah, I've heard that. Although I always hear that from crazy racist white people. So
I really wanted my. Did I tell you? Because in the first week we talked about me being in America. Did I tell you the first assignment that I did for American history?
Were you a spy in America?
No, we had the first bit of coursework that we had, right?
See, it's assignment that threw me off. That took me back to my days working.
That's what they call it.
Look, man, when I was working for Dead Cell, it was totally different. Assignment meant something else.
Right. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Tell me about your assignment.
For American history, which was a module that I had to take. Right. I had two modules that I had to take, and they were American history and American literature.
Lucky.
And that was fine, yeah. They were both pretty cool. But for our first like thing, we had to write about do a presentation on our American hero, right? So people in our class all did like
Abraham.
No.
Yeah, he's always
George Washington.
Ugh.
Yeah, Martin Luther King. Abe Lincoln. For some.
For some, the rest of them demonized.
Yeah, so some of them did. And there was another exchange student in my class from Germany, and that was the same. Time. That was the same year that they did the pilot that landed the plane in the Hudson River.
Oh, Captain something.
Yeah. He did hit that about him. Yeah. He's like, oh, this is my American hero, right?
My American hero.
I sort of didn't
upside down flight man.
No, his it was better than that.
Shut up. That's German accent.
Yeah, so they did theirs about like serious people. And I did mine about Johnny Cash.
No, Johnny Cash is incredible.
I still stand by that. Johnny Cash, I think Johnny Cash.
He helped win World War II.
He helped. Oh yeah, because he played for soldiers.
No, fuck that noise, man.
Was he in the army?
He did like proper stuff. He was like one of the top code breakers in the world.
Was he?
Yeah.
There you go then.
Talking about countries that don't know their history. Johnny Cash is an amazing guy.
I know he was descended from Scottish royalty.
Maybe, fuck that. He was also like 1/18th Cherokee and 1/5 Atlantean, whatever.
Cool. But yeah, so I did that, and then my teacher, who had a doctorate
in Johnny Cash,
in psychology, gave me full marks and said, "Great work with speaking English."
I'm confused.
Yeah.
Why is she getting great marks for speaking English?
Because she thought English wasn't my first language.
Wait, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
What's your first language?
No, she thought that English wasn't my first language.
Because you're from Scotland?
Yeah.
That's I feel bad for America.
She was a lovely lady.
If you've got a doctorate of psychology and you can't read atlas.
So I was really, but she was like a proper Southern, not belle, but for lack of better term, and I spent the entire time trying to get her to call it the War of Northern Aggression. She just wouldn't bite.
She kept just getting the vapors falling back.
Yeah.
I have a friend who has a huge love affair with New Orleans. Oh yeah. And the only thing I know about New Orleans is Treme, which is the really great HBO show nobody watches, and all that sweet hurricanes they get. That's the only thing I know about New Orleans. I don't really have a. Well, no, I really like. I think Kentucky is my favorite state.
Why?
Just like it. It's
kind of like the fried chicken.
No, I like the bourbon.
It was only going to be one or two, wasn't it?
Probably. No, I quite like the accent as well. The Kentucky accent's very cool. Yeah, I really like it.
I do have a big soft spot for South Carolina.
Well, it's because you've been there.
Yeah, but I
like Boston as well.
Oh no.
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
What was it?
No idea. Meh.
I'm not man. That's creepy as hell.
Might be in the phone. But yeah, no, I know that South Carolina is low on a lot of popularity polls for like visiting states.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought
because the people there were welcoming to me. But I'm a straight white male.
Okay.
And I don't want to get into that whole like
straight is relative term for you.
No, right, okay. Well, anyway,
I've seen you around people. Seen you around Nathan.
I can't help it.
That poor boy.
See, there was when I worked at McDonald's. We worked there with one of my mates who I had known since I was 5.
Uh-huh.
And we had a lovely bromance, and we won best couple.
That's so lame.
Yeah.
I have no interest in that.
It was glorious.
I'll tell you something funny though.
Okay, hit me up.
Lewis added Alex on Facey B the other day.
Facey B. Okay.
And she was going, "Is this Mike?" I went, "No, his name is clearly Lewis." And then she went, I know, but does he look like Mike? I was like, kinda, I guess so. And then she looked her head up. She looked you up.
Yeah.
And she went, "Oh yeah, they're both bears."
Well, she's not wrong.
No, I know she's not wrong. Which should make Nathan a twink or a cub.
It's do you?
I like twink.
I can't remember. Was it you I was speaking to the other day? Where I was saying I'd make a fantastic gay man.
No.
I'd be drowning, right?
Would you?
And model like men if I was gay, because they all love a good bear.
They do.
They do.
I wonder why that is.
I don't know.
I could ask one of the numerous gay people I know, but I don't really want to.
Yeah, I've never really.
I might actually do some investigating.
I don't ask my guy friends about what they do.
I think I know a lot of twinks though. I think I know a lot of those model like gay guys.
That doesn't surprise me.
I don't know many bears. I need to go find a bear now. I'll find one.
Yeah.
I'll just go to Cheers again.
It's almost a shame that I'm not gay.
Yeah, but Mike, it's a lifestyle choice. We both know that this is a lifestyle choice. Kim Davis has changed my mind on it. It's
she's a speaker and a half.
I was talking to Stephen about her.
Yeah.
He's very, very anti her, and I'm just like, nah, I'll leave her alone. She's cool. But I understand the huge issues with it, but I also know what I think should have happened. Like, if her beliefs were that strong, she should have resigned.
She was the one that refused to issue marriage license,
which is fine.
Well,
no. I think
it's not because she's not doing her job.
No, that's what I agree with. I agree with.
Sacked for not doing her job.
I agree. She should have been sacked. But if she felt that strongly about it, she should have realized when it became legalized. Oh, I'm gonna have to quit.
Yeah.
But she was fine anyway. There's plenty of other things she could have done where she didn't have to be. She could still have worked in government. And she didn't need to be responsible for that. She should have done the right thing.
Yeah.
And quit, or got over her bad self, because there are many things that are against her religious beliefs that she does anyway.
That I do at work that I don't enjoy doing. Yeah. I mean, nothing that I'm like morally opposed to. Yeah, I get that. Yeah. But you know, when someone's in your face, like,
that's never stopped me. No, but there's things in her beliefs, because she proposes that she is a like straight up follower. If it's in that book, it's in the rules, she's not doing it, or she is doing it.
6,000 years old.
That's alright. Yeah, 6,000 years old. It's flat. There's no sun.
God put dinosaurs there to test us
and build pyramids. But there's other smaller things like not eating cotton, not wearing cotton with linen or silk or something.
Yeah, it's not wearing clothes made of more than one fiber.
Mm-hmm. And she doesn't do that. I believe the thing people have been nailing her for, which I don't think's fair because I'm a huge private life guy anyway, is that she's been married X amount of times and she's been divorced X amount of times. Which is,
I mean, if you say that you follow the Bible word for word, then
you wouldn't even choose who you marry. Your dad would.
Yeah, but you wouldn't divorce them.
Yeah, I know. That's what they've been nailing her. She's like, well, she can't say this because she's done
I mean, I can't say that they're not justified. You know, like, I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with divorcing.
That actually brings me to a bigger problematic point with marriage as a whole, because I don't think marriage should exist anymore. But the reason that she's holding on to this being homosexual is an abomination is because if you are heavy religious, not just that it helps you get through the day, but that you claim that it is your life, it's your guidepost. Because this is something Finlay said which kind of bothered me, even though I know he doesn't believe this, is when he said, like, your morality is because of these great stories. I don't believe that. I believe like in an innate morality. You can kind of fight an objective moralism.
Socrates.
What, the cave thing?
No. I forget the name of Socrates' student.
Aristotle.
No, the other one.
Apollo Creed.
No, I don't. It might have been Aristotle. I don't think it was.
Aristotle was either Socrates' teacher or his Plato.
Oh, that's what it was. It was Plato. Yeah. He asked. There's like that story where he asks Socrates if something's good because God says it is, or the gods, because it was the gods then.
Back then.
Is something good because they say it is, or do they say it is because it is good? Yeah.
Well, that's not what I'm getting into.
You know, because I do think had there not been any religion, we would still say, you know what, it's probably not in the best interests if we just all walk around killing each other.
Yeah, that's a biological and mental thing.
Yeah.
But anyway, the reason I think these people that have incredibly strong religious beliefs but function in a Western society is because they can still look at homosexuality and still be turned off by it. They can still think that's wrong. So in their mindset, it's that when they die, they'll go to heaven and God will be like, well, you didn't give to the poor, you didn't help everyone you met, you didn't follow all my rules, but you did hate gay people. In you go! That's why they hold on to it. It's this thing that they personally find skeezing them out. And they think
they get like it's an automatic pass.
Yeah, they put all their eggs into that one thing because they're just like, that's the one God really cares about, or else I wouldn't feel that badly about it. Whereas I can be happy about Marines killing people overseas because they're evil.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm not saying she's a bad person. I don't think she's a bad person. I think she's a stupid person. Which isn't. It's not as bad as being bad.
She's continued to make an issue of something that she's clearly lost the fight in.
It's not even losing. Well, it's kind of interesting how quickly that fight got resolved, because there's a great book called it's Gay in New York in the 30s or something. It's by this guy called George Chauncey, and he's amazing. He tells you all about the history of the New York gay scene back in the 30s, which was sexuality was kind of invented around the 40s.
Yeah.
Because it was more fluid. You could be a straight man with a wife and a kid, and if you just went out one night and saw a guy you really wanted to have sex with, you could have sex with him, and you were still a straight man. You just there's loads of, like, the elephant walk is a thing that still happens, where like a man will hold the penis of another guy behind him, and they'll walk. There's all these strange homosexual tendencies guys have, but then they get turned off when people call them gay. They're just like, no, I'm not. They get this real hatred of it when they should embrace that part of them. And George Chauncey's book, just says how slowly governments and just high-ranking people filtered that out, made it worse. Because there's John Waters is a great director, and he's one of the most amazing guys to hear about talk about sexuality, because he thinks gay people have kind of lost something by wanting acceptance. Because he preferred being a bandit, he preferred being outside like the rebel. Law.
Yeah.
And I totally get him, because I hear that a lot from people about me, where they're just like, I don't understand. You're like, I don't want to be fucking understood. I hate being understood. I hate it when people get what I'm talking about.
I don't know. I think people have that need to be understood.
I know, and I think it's better.
Like, there's probably
it's better
a lot of
than
people in both camps.
Hating people. I don't think the gut reaction of being disgusted by another human just because of what they sexually find attractive or what they love, that's not okay ever.
Yeah.
But I still think you should be allowed to say it. So when she is saying that it's not okay, I'd fight for her to say that. But she should have gave up her job. She shouldn't be in prison because of this thing.
Yeah.
She should be in prison for...
But then that's her own... You could say that's her own fault.
It is her own fault. She can easily get out of there.
Yeah.
Quite quickly. This doesn't have to go as far as it probably will.
Yeah. There's no shame in throwing up your hand and saying, like, you know, that's it.
But she was like wrong off of a legal basis.
Yeah. I don't agree with her opinions, but that doesn't mean that she shouldn't be allowed to voice them. Like, we're moving as a society. I think we're moving very quickly into, you don't agree with me, so you shouldn't have an opinion.
You know, I'm like, kind of on that.
No, well, people like people who say,
I like opinions,
for example,
there is opinions that don't matter.
There is.
If your opinion can't be backed up with fact or just truth, then your opinion does not matter.
I don't like that because I don't like it. Like that to me is something that people kind of do say.
They do say it, and that bothers me. You need to have some rationality behind not liking things.
But you don't.
You do.
You don't. To be taken seriously, you do.
Yeah, and you should want to be taken seriously.
People still do it. Like, it's a fact that they do.
Yeah, they're wrong. I hate it.
That's just how it is.
I hate it when people say they like something, and I'm like, oh, okay, why? And I just like it. Well, you don't really like it then. You'd be able to tell me why you like it if you really liked it.
I do that all the time.
I know you do. I was looking directly at you thinking it. It's not you, I heard it from somebody else, but it just bothers me. Because it's not hard to think up reasoning. It's not difficult to defend your shitty taste.
For instance, right? I have had people stop speaking to me because I don't like The Dark Knight.
Yeah, okay.
Like, I think it was overrated. I think nobody would care about it had Heath Ledger not died.
I think you're incorrect, but that's because I'm right and you're wrong. And
I think I like Chris Nolan.
There's a great history. I'm falling out with Chris Nolan the longer he directs.
I think Chris Nolan's a great director, but I think when now people see that Chris Nolan directed it, so let's all jerk each other off and
no.
see it.
I think Chris Nolan's got just to get out of the way, Dark Knight's not the best comic book movie ever made. Snowpiercer is. Because it's a comic book.
Okay.
And it was made in the 80s when nobody read it, and it was only translated 6 years ago. But first off, it's brilliant. It's beautiful.
Okay,
beautiful.
Other than
Go watch Snowpiercer. Ghost World is also brilliant.
Fucking hell. Right, mainstream comics.
Ghost World is mainstream.
Is it?
Yes. It's got Scarlett Johansson in it, man. That's mainstream.
Okay. You go see films just because they have ghosts in the title, don't you? Because you really want to go see that Paranormal Activity.
Ghost Dimension. I am popping such a paranormal boner right now. I cannot wait for this film. It's something like the 8th in that series. Yeah. And I remember seeing the first one in the cinema and loving it, man. It's so good. Was that not an 18? It was either an 18 or 15, one of the two. And I was old enough to go see it, no matter what. It was 2011, 2012 when it came out. Was it? I think so. I'm not 100% on it. Okay. But I was old enough to go see it. I know that. Because people freaked out in the cinema at Paranormal Activity.
I haven't seen any of them, but I've heard that the first one is really good.
First one's great. There's people that look on it now and go, well, that sucks. And it's like, no, you're looking at it with your current prejudice. Yeah. Just like when people watch a black and white movie now and they're like, this is so boring. It's like, no, you're looking at it with your dickhead prejudice now.
Yeah.
Paranormal Activity 1 is stellar piece of filmmaking. It's so good. The problem with it is Oren Peli, the director and the writer and the everything for that film. Really,
right? Okay.
Because he did that so well. The studio that owns it, I don't know who. I think it's New Line.
We'll make a bunch.
We're going to make bunches of them, but he's the producer of each one, and that makes fans think, oh, so it's going to stay the same. And the producer does little to nothing unless they're a mega producer. Like Bruckheimer essentially directs all those films because he's the mega producer. So Oren Peli is the producer, but it's not really. The second one's not very good, but it's not awful. It's not god awful. It's just not great.
I've heard the third one's just shite.
Third one's incredible.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you saying incredible because it's bad?
No, it's great. It's a good film because it's got restrictions that it imposed on itself, which is it's a prequel and it's set in the 80s.
Right.
So
is that the one? No, it must not be then, because I've seen one where they, it's a guy and a girl and they're just on Skype.
No, that's not. No, that's the fourth one. Fourth one or fifth one, one of the two. But the third one's great because it's a prequel. It's in the 80s, so they're using like a Super 8 camera. So at the bottom of the screen, you've got like time left on the tape, and there's stuff like it's a huge bulky camera. So the guy's lugging it, but because he's lugging it upstairs, it's a proper strain on him. And when he's capturing stuff, he's not. See, the great thing about the first one is it's fairly modern, and it's a couple of years ago, so it looks dated now, but it's all webcams and like set good looking cameras, HD stuff.
Oh right, okay. That's what I was about to ask. So it's not shot like Cloverfield. Forget the name of that.
Some of it is because sometimes he has a camera and he's filming stuff. But the 80s is just the guy's just got the one camera. Right. So he leaves it in a room to capture stuff overnight. And he does this great bit where he takes a fan head and he removes the head of the fan and he just attaches the camera on it, so now the camera can pan. Now that's really clever. Cool, yeah. And people just don't look at it, they just go, found footage, bullshit. But if you can work interesting things into your found footage, then that shows that you're a good director. And that's one of the standout moments of it, is where the fan head and he's just got it panning, because it's a slow pan, because the fans in the 80s are slow. So it's slowly panning, and each time it's going, you've got that dread. You've got that feeling of
something's going to be there.
There's something there, and he does this great bait and switch. I say he, but it might well be the guys that did Winter Soldier. They directed one of the Paranormal Activities. The something brothers, the Russo brothers. That's it. Right. If they did the third one, good for them. I don't know if they did. But there's a great bit with this rocking horse, and you keep thinking, oh, that thing's going to move, it's going to come alive. It never does. It's just a great little. They made something scary out of something non-ominous.
Well, it's a bit of a trope, isn't it?
Bit of a trope, but it's not cliche.
But I'd say that not using it, but having it there.
It's clever. It's really clever. Yeah. The only bit of 3 that might fall apart is it tries to give you. See, the Paranormal Activity films, since the second one, have decided to have this big branching storyline about like curses and witches, demons, and this fucking nonsense, which might, for all I know, pay off. Yeah. So far, it's not. But the third one kind of trips over itself by trying to implement that thing into the plot.
Like the overarching story.
Yeah, like there's a bit at the end where like this huge coven of witches like shows up at a house, and they're like planting crosses on the door, and it's all on fire, and you're like, how did nobody notice this? And then the ending's a bit.
Where are the officers?
Where is the police?
Where is the law?
Because it's pretending that it's in the real world. So the police would have been involved. It's like, there's a gaggle of witches. I'm saying witches, I might be showing my prejudice here. But there's old ladies.
There's robed people.
Wearing robes, and they're setting things on fire.
Why are there robed people in my neighborhood?
And the police would just be like,
84 years old.
The police would just be like,
I fought in Nam for this.
You fought in Nam 20 years ago when you were 60?
Yeah.
You are a true
hero. I
hero.
also fought in the Second World War.
Yeah, I also fought in the First World War.
Normandy for this.
I was born on Gettysburg. So yeah, the third one's great. I've not seen the fourth one. I've not seen the one called The Quiet Ones or something.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure there's another one in between them. But Ghost Dimension. I'm so up for Ghost Dimension. There's something about that title, Ghost Dimension. It sounds like an early 2000s Puddle of Muds album. I really want to go see Ghost Dimension.
Ghost Dimension.
I'm probably going to take Alex. No, she won't see it. It's a horror movie. Fuck. I'll have to trick her into seeing it.
I've never understood people who just love horror movies.
Horror movies?
Yeah.
No, I don't like horror movies as such. I like just good movies. I also like fucking shitty, awful ones like Ghost Dimension. But I would go to see something like Ghost Dimension. I'm probably not going to see it, by the way, just because I don't like that going to see a movie because it's bad.
Right.
I understand the thing behind it, and I do get a small perverse joy watching a bad movie. But it's usually
like The Room.
Yeah, it's usually at home though. It's usually with friends that I'll watch it.
Right.
Whereas, although I see stuff for free, so nah, fuck it. That's still hours of my life I want back. So yeah, I'm probably not going to see Ghost Dimension. But I just like, because Keith was asking me yesterday, he was just like, so that's a no on Everest then? I was like, look at the votes, man. Yeah, it's a no. He was like, how come? Well, it looks like a piece of shit, that's why.
It does look like a
piece of shit.
It looks like a drama that wants to be a disaster, or a disaster film that wants to be a drama.
No, here's the thing. For all I know, Everest turns out to be brilliant. But I wasn't kidding when I was like going through the reasons why I don't need to see it. Poster study. Yeah. And that's a thing, that's a term I've either made up or it exists.
Right.
But you can do poster study. It's really easy.
Okay.
Just study the fucking poster, man. Like, the poster for Everest is such a... It reminds me of WWE.
Are you talking about the picture of the peak?
No, I'm talking about the one that they're using with the actors.
Jake Gyllenhaal, Josh Brolin, and...
Jason Clarke.
Yeah.
Jason Clarke is being pushed as like this new star.
He's in that TV series.
Watch TV.
I forget.
Watch TV.
Oh, you don't watch TV?
No.
I watch TV. I'm Batman.
I love TV. Yeah, right. He's being kind of pushed as this new guy because he's in so much stuff, and he's just like such a boring. He just looks quite boring. Because although I do like him in White House Down, because he plays a mercenary who's an ex-Mossad agent with diabetes, and there's
a lot of stuff in that sentence.
His name's Emil, and he's great. He's really good, actually. He's quite a good foil to Channing Tatum.
Right.
Because I like White House Down. It's a Die Hard movie that never was as a Die Hard. Yeah. But yeah, he's kind of being pushed as like the new thing because he's in Zero Dark 30. He's all right in that, but that's not because of him. It's because that movie's dealing with some pretty heavy stuff.
Yeah.
He's in the new Terminator, so gone.
That's what I've seen. Yeah, that's what I've seen. Yeah.
And 2 or 3 other things. He just feels to me like a very pushed maneuver of here's your new star, but he looks kind of too old to be a hunk, and he looks too boring to be like the kind of guy that I'd watch. Because I would now go and see, since Rob Pattinson became like a proper actor and has been hanging out with David Cronenberg, I'll see him in anything because he's great. He's so good now. Rob Pattinson. He
did that film set in like the 30s a couple of years ago, didn't he?
Yeah, I don't remember what it's called though.
Yeah,
I've seen him in his last 2 Cronenberg films, and he's great in them. Same with Kristen Stewart. Kristen Stewart's always been great. I just think she got kind of a shitty deal with being pushed as a teen star. That was where she went wrong. That's where her and Rob went wrong. Because
I think like the a disclaimer: I haven't seen any of the Twilight films, so I can't really speak about them. But I don't think Kristen Stewart is like, for lack of a better phrase, hot enough. You know, like, well, you know, Jennifer Lawrence. Like, people like,
I don't like Jennifer Lawrence.
People cream themselves over Jennifer Lawrence all the time. You know, like, oh, she's absolutely stunning. She's an attractive lady, but like,
she's not as attractive as my
she's
lady.
She's not like that. Kristen Stewart's not kind of like that Bombshell. The film that
they weren't going for that though.
They kind of were.
No.
They kind of were.
They were going for that Paramore audience.
Yeah, but she's.
I've got you there.
Like, I don't think she fits into that either.
I think she does.
Like,
she's great though. She recently won essentially the French version of an Oscar,
right,
for The Clouds of Saint Marie, and she's in Still Alice. She's brilliant in Still Alice.
Yeah,
her and Julia Moore are just so good.
It was the film I was going to mention was Adventureland.
I didn't like Adventureland. I like the premise though.
I enjoyed it a lot
because that would have been my Jurassic Park. I'm not kidding you. I hated Jurassic World.
I didn't see it,
and I fell out with people about hating it because it's the argument people give it is it's fun. I'm like, that's not good enough. It needs to be good.
We talked about Jurassic World last week, and I went home and sat down and remembered that we'd spoken about it and had a really good counter argument. Because I said I enjoy a film if it's fun, and you said then Jurassic World was good.
Yeah.
But there was a reason why. Fuck, what was it?
It was Kingsman.
Yeah, it was Kingsman, but wasn't it Kingsman made me laugh? Because I don't think Jurassic World would have made me laugh.
It wouldn't have made you laugh because it made me cry.
It didn't make me cry. I really like Chris Pratt.
I'm not the biggest fan of Chris Pratt, but I know why. He's very charming. I like him. I just I think he's doing a bit too much, and it's not quite him. It's because he's getting. You'd be stupid to not, if you've spent so much time wanting to be Harrison Ford, and now you're getting the chance to be Harrison Ford. You'd be Harrison. And I'm not saying he wants to be Harrison Ford. I'm just saying. Harrison Ford's my favorite movie star.
Is he?
As a star, yeah. He's not my favorite actor.
Right. Who is your favorite?
Oh, at the moment, I don't know. I'll figure it out later. But that's not like Jurassic World is. It keeps trying to be clever every couple minutes with going, oh, movie sucks, sequel sucks, product placement sucks, while it's doing all those things. And it's because the director, Colin Trevorrow is just not a good director.
I remember screen checking it at one point, and the guy from New Girl is
he's in it.
Yeah,
Jake Johnson.
Yeah, he's like, oh, you're wearing that shirt of the original Jurassic Park, and he was like, yeah, I got it for like $300.
Yeah, he's meant to be. Like, he's meant to represent, I think, the original fans.
Yeah, right.
Who are still like just eating up Jurassic Park stuff.
Yeah.
But Jurassic World, and here's the thing, a lot of people, there's like a huge debate because of Mad Max being just fucking incredible, like practical effects versus CGI, and people who are really CGI based. And I understand how important CGI is because I've technically kind of worked in it by helping out people. I just do the voices. I don't know fucking how to program anything.
Right.
But I know a lot of animators.
Yeah.
How much work goes into that. CGI is a really difficult thing to do properly, which is why when you see Inside Out or Brave, you're amazed by it because it's done properly. But that's not just because of a technical level, it's because of the writing, it's because it's creative. It's not Despicable Me, it's just pure trash. But Jurassic World is overabundantly CGI.
Yeah.
And people go, well, Jurassic Park did huge leaps and bounds for CGI. It's like, for a few scenes. The majority of the dinosaurs are real. They're practical.
That's
that T-Rex at the end, they built most of that. And there's huge logical flaws in Jurassic Park, but they get away with it because the film's about the people. It's not about the dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs don't have assholes. How do they defecate if they don't have assholes?
The same way people on the internet defecate for their mouths. Internet slam.
Take that, Reddit.
Take that, everybody. But Jurassic World has no interest in people. It's just about dinosaurs. It's just about the spectacle, and that's why it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Because I was watching Jurassic World, and every few minutes I'm like, oh, that's great, and then I'm being punched in the balls at the next thing happening. Yeah. And there's bits of it that just are.
Well, it's like it's the reason that films like the original Jurassic Park or the original Star Wars, like they have those effects in them.
Yeah.
But they don't rely on them, whereas films these days do tend to seem to rely on.
Jurassic Park trailer is amazing. The first Jurassic Park trailer is so good because it doesn't give away much, whereas the Jurassic World trailer feels like such a 2015 trailer because there's such dynamic stuff happening, but it's not done with any fear, so you're not actually scared. Like, an example is, I don't know what minute, I'm not autistic, I can't remember the fucking exact minutes of it, but there's a part in the trailer where the pterodons, the flying dinosaurs, they like bust loose in this huge cage, and they like that chopper crashes through them. There's explosions. The dinosaurs are exploding. The Indominus Rex, which is called the I-Rex, which
the worst name for.
No, I like the name. I just I-Rex, man, just bullshit. It roars, and then the other dinosaurs roar, and there's explosions and roaring, and you don't feel that because you know they're just pixels on a screen. Yeah. Whereas during the Jeep scene with the T-Rex in Jurassic Park, that's terrifying because that's a giant fucking head that didn't mean to go through that plastic thing. That was just a lucky accident. Yeah. The kids weren't hurt, obviously, and it was all controlled. But when it's roaring, and it all feels much more important because you're invested in those characters. There's literally a character in Jurassic World who is an assistant, and she's very pretty, she's very nice, and they kill her just because they can. Yeah. And you never feel like that's a loss because you didn't care about her. Chris Pratt could have died in that film. Nobody'd be sad.
Yeah. Speaking of like trailers that give too much shit away, like the new Terminator did that.
But I don't know why people were so mad about it, because it's also such an obvious thing.
Well, I don't know. See, I think had it not been in the trailer...
No, I think you'd have figured it out.
What do you think?
I think so, because they cast an up-and-coming actor as John Connor. Whereas before this... It was Christian Bale, but he was the main character.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I'm saying, though? Like, they have to use him in the plot. As soon as you cast Jason Clarke, who they're pushing as their big new guy, as John Connor, he has to be in the plot somehow. And he can't be in the plot the way the old John Connors have, where they just tell the protagonist, you're going back in time. Like, do you know who played John Connor in the first Terminator?
No.
Me neither. Because he's just there to literally go, okay, you go back in time, and you go back in time. And that's it.
Do you even see John Connor in the first one?
You did. You see him in the second one as well.
You do see him in the second one?
You see him in the first one too.
Is it the same guy?
Yeah, it's the same guy.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Right.
And he's not important because he's not important. That version of John is not important.
Yeah.
The version in the past is who you're meant to be care about.
I still think, because I had no idea who Jason Clarke was before.
Okay. Well, I'm a freak, but I think the standard cinema goer, from my experience of working in the cinema, sees every film twice on the same day.
Yeah.
So they would know who Jason Clarke is, and if they don't know his name, they know his face.
I don't know.
I agree that it's a spoiler.
I would consider myself a bit of a movie buff, maybe not to the level that you are.
No. There are directors that aren't on the same level of a movie buff as me, though.
But I have grown up like in a family of people who love watching films. Okay. So I would say I'm a movie buff, but I had no idea who Jason Clarke was.
That's fine.
Before that, so had I not seen the trailer, and had he walked, there's that scene where he walks in, you'd be like, what the fuck's going on? And then you'd get like a sense that something's up. But I'm just like, I already know he's the villain. Mm-hmm. Like any second now, like Schwarzenegger's going to shoot him, and it's going to, I'm not going to care.
Have any effect.
I'm not going to care because I already know.
Well, the Terminator franchise for me is kind of like one of the most upsetting things in the world.
Because it had potential, or
no? Because it's like still got life in it, but I think this one might have fucking killed it. Because if you break down Terminator,
it's definitely better than 3 and 4.
You're wrong. I'll tell you why you're wrong in a minute.
Is 3 your favourite?
No. Okay. The Terminator franchise as a whole actually bugs me just on a logistical level, which is, if any of the movies can happen, it means they're never going to win. Do you understand? Like, the fact that the movies happen means that Skynet doesn't ever manage it. Right, so the first movie, they send a Terminator back in time to kill John Connor as a baby. Mm-hmm. It clearly didn't work because they sent him back in time to kill a baby.
Right.
Because time's just flat, it's a straight line.
Okay.
So, by sending him back, Skynet should have went, oh, this isn't going to work. How? Well, we just did it. And we're still trying it.
Well, you could, like...
But then there's the branching universe theory where, that's fine. But again, Skynet, for this all-powerful machine being, doesn't think, let's just wipe out that entire family tree. Let's just do that shit now, man.
Years or anything like that,
But I also get that thematically it's better to put them in the 80s and stuff.
Yeah.
Because I like Terminator 1 more than Terminator 2. Terminator
2 is arguably the more popular one.
Yeah, and it's arguably even the better film.
Yeah.
But there's something about the first one I just like a bit more. I like Arnie as the villain. There's the amount of stuff he has to do without speaking. Because people are like, well, he's not got any emotion, and you're like, yeah, he's not got any emotion.
That's the point.
And it's great. And Terminator 1's Terminator 1's my favorite one. Terminator 2 still pretty good. 3. Here's where people get 3 wrong.
Okay.
Terminator 3 is a bad film, but not because of the movie. Terminator 3 is bad because it's made badly. And the reasoning why is, if you watch Terminator 3, because I've watched Terminator 3 recently, it's essentially a chase movie.
Yeah.
But it keeps trying to give you plot every couple seconds, and that slows down the chase. If they had done Terminator 3 as just a straightforward...
give you 20 minutes of setup.
20 minutes of setup, and then 2 hours of just You send the Terminator back in time, and it's like, why? To stop Skynet. Don't even bother with that, because at the end they end up in that mountain which is safe from the nuclear weapons. The Terminator should have been sent back in time to do that. Its like mission is, I'm going to get them to that mountain and save them, because that would give you a clear beginning point and an end point. Because the Terminator even says Judgment Day is inevitable. So we know they're not going to stop it. But you keep giving us this plot bullshit every couple seconds. And it's badly written plot as well. And Nick Stahl, who has kind of disappeared off the map, he plays John Connor. He's got like so little to work with, because he's meant to be like whiny and, why is it always me? And it's like, as soon as that Terminator should show up, he could go, right, I'm never going to escape this. I'm just going to have to get over it. And then, I don't remember who plays Catherine Brewster. But it doesn't matter. It probably does, because she's, for all we know, she's big now.
I don't think I've seen her in anything since.
You might. See, I'm gonna feel like a real dickhead when I get home and find out who she is. Because she should be the one, admittedly, who is like, what's going on? But she adapts much quicker than him. So if they were gonna have any plot, it should just be her being told, you need to get over this, because you're gonna do great things in a few years. And you just need to get that fucking mountain, right? There's a supermodel chasing us. They should have just made a chase movie, but instead they tried to make it like thematically interesting, they couldn't do it because Cameron had left, and it was when Cameron was already going down that slope of technicality over plot development. And the fourth one, I'm not going to disagree, because it's a bad movie. It's just a strange film.
My argument is that 4 is better than 3.
That's fine, because you might be right, like on just on an acting level.
I think the acting
Chris Bale's good. Better. He's not great in it, but he's better than Nick Stahl.
The plot's
still stupid.
It's stupid, but it's like easier to follow, and it keeps up with itself.
Biggest problem that might be kicking the balls here, though, is directed by Mick G, who's just the worst human alive.
Better than M. Night Shyamalan.
No, he's not. Do you know why he's not?
What?
Mick G did both the Charlie's Angels movies. That's why. M. Night Shyamalan made Unbreakable, which is great.
I've only seen the first 5 minutes of Unbreakable. It's the one where Samuel Jackson's in a wheelchair, isn't it? And then, and
Bruce Willis is a superhero.
Yeah,
it's great. It's a really good movie.
See, I've heard otherwise.
You've heard from idiots then. Who told you that it was crap?
My family.
Don't listen to your family, mate. What do they know?
Imagine that. There you go.
Just telling you a fact. And fifth one, I haven't. See, I count a lot of films I've seen just from doing screen checks, because I'll do a lot of them. I do a lot of them when I'm on the floor. So I've essentially seen a lot of the movies because I've just seen the main beats, and I just kind of figure out what's happening in it. So I count a lot of movies that I've not sat down and watched from just me like figuring out what's going on.
I went to see Mission
I've essentially seen
Man
from U.N.C.L.E.
Didn't realise how much of it I had seen from screen checks.
So I'm pretty sure all the bits that were meant to be you're just like, I've seen it.
I really enjoyed Man from U.N.C.L.E.
Didn't like it.
Did you actually go and see it though?
All of it.
Yeah.
Saw all the beats. Didn't see all of it.
Right. There you go. I thought it was well. I thought it was. I personally thought it was a very well put together film.
Nah, see, it's got the kiss of death from me, Guy Ritchie.
You boycott Guy Ritchie.
I don't boycott Guy Ritchie because he's right. Okay, his whole thing is everyone loves Lock, Stock.
I haven't seen it.
It's not bad, but it's very much a British version of Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, I've got that feeling.
Guy Ritchie is a shitty version of Tarantino, and he's British, and he likes being British, so that makes him even shittier, because the worst people alive are British. And he's very much into this whole cocky gangster thing, and it makes every character a cliche. They're all cartoon characters, because I like Snatch a bit more than Lock, Stock, because it feels like a cartoon, and it also feels kind of like it knows it's a cartoon, so it's got a bit of humour about it, because they've got characters like, fucking hell, Jason Statham plays a guy whose nickname is Bacon. And, you know...
Yeah.
Is it Bacon? No, his name's Turkish. That's
Turkish,
it.
Right.
Come on, and he's got a boxer...
See if we ever write, or if you ever write a film, write apart from me.
Called Bacon.
I
will. You can be in the cabal. You can be the Minister of Health called Bacon.
You'll get like, some like massive producer, like Bruckheimer.
I would never want to Bruckheimer. He's got Brad Pitt in it, called Mickey the Pikey, who's an Irish traveller, and his accent is just top notch. It's really good. He's got, I don't know the guy's name.
Is it better than Johnny Depp's Irish accent?
No, I like
Chocolat.
Not seen it. I actually like Brad Pitt in Snatch. He's really good. And he's got, I don't know the character's the guy's name who plays it, but the main villain of it is called Bricktop, and he's a proper like Cockney geezer. He's like, do you know why I love pigs, Turkish? And it's like, why? Because they eat shit or something.
They eat people, yeah.
Yeah, they eat people. And he's got Boris the Bullet Dodger, and then Boris the Blade, and crappy lines like this. Why'd they call him Boris the Bullet Dodger? Because he dodges bullets, Harry. And it's like, nobody talks like that, Guy Ritchie. And you've got Vinnie Jones, who, from just being Vinnie Jones, everyone's like, oh, he's the hard man. Why? Well, he says he's a hard man. I could kick fuck out of Vinnie Jones. I'm saying that.
I have to say, I don't think you could kick the fuck out of Vinnie Jones.
Set it up, we'll find out.
You hear that, Vinnie? He's calling you out.
Call Vinnie Jones out. Mess Vinnie Jones up. Yeah, so they're cartoons, and then he did Sherlock Holmes, but again, he's done it as like a huge action pick. And he did Revolver, which I think universally has been panned as being a piece of shit. But he was doing something interesting with Revolver, because he was trying to not do just Cockney geezer. I think he must have accidentally read like one of Madonna's Kabbalah books, because he is talking about the Kabbalah a lot of it. He's talking about the importance of numbers and colours and how the game of life is difficult, and there's like some Machiavelli stuff in there, but it's kind of written by an idiot, so he doesn't quite understand what he's talking about. But I like it because it's different. He's not doing the same thing he always does.
He's broken out of his, tried to.
He's tried to, and I kind of admire someone who's tried that. And then he did Rock and Roller, which is again exact same nonsense he's up to. And then Man from U.N.C.L.E. seems like just such a Guy Ritchie thing to do. Of, well, let's take a property that already exists and we'll just like add enough new stuff while it's still being set in the 60s, and we'll give it like a sense of humor of irony, and then it'll be funny because it's ironic, and it's not. It's just charmless. And
see, I disagree. I thought it was quite charming.
Well, that just speaks volumes about you then, doesn't it? But it's also, and I'm not a big fan of Henry Cavill.
That is the first thing that I've watched him in. I know he was in Man of Steel.
Yeah, Superman.
I haven't seen it.
But alright, I'd watch Man of Steel.
It looked bad.
It was bad, but watch it, because after you've seen it, you'll understand just how wrong a film can go, and how wrong a character can be represented.
Yeah, because they tried to do that whole gritty thing with Superman, don't they?
Which could work, but not.
It could work, but
not by Zack Snyder, because that guy doesn't know how to direct. Hey, he's kind of like a Guy Ritchie to me as well.
You think?
Yeah, they've got a lot in common. There's a lot of directors right now who do have a lot in common.
Yeah.
And
do you think that Batman vs Superman is going to be good?
No.
Okay.
I'm still going to see it. Well, maybe. I would watch it probably when it's died down. I'm not going to see it when it comes out.
Yeah. See, what I hate is, and I used to hang out with a lot of people that did this, and it was they used to like hype it.
Yeah, I was talking about that.
And then so they'll big up.
So when you see it, it's
and then they'll go and
they'll
be like, and then they'll spend the next 3 weeks
bitching about it. And that's such a waste to me, because you can't consume that much anyway.
Yeah.
But there's a girl on Facebook who's a cosplayer, and her name's Stacey Rebecca, and she's a very lovely person. She does like a lot of charity stuff for depression and whatever.
Right.
But I think she's sponsored by a lot of like games companies and stuff, because every couple of days she'll show up one of her new cosplay things, and then they'll be like, what are you playing, what are you watching, and what are you excited for? And she's excited for everything. Now you cannot be excited about everything. I am very amazed that Assassin's Creed games sell so well, because they bring out one every year, and each
half
one
the series has been disappointing.
And also every year they seem to be going backwards and still using the exact same mechanics, but every year they're always going, it's the most dynamic one ever. It's like, you can't be hyping up these things and then delivering something that's not as good. Like, one of the series that's got away with that is like the Arkham Knight stuff, the Arkham Batman games.
Was Arkham Knight good?
Arkham Knight's good, but as soon as you get 100%, there's no need to keep it anymore, because I traded it in to buy the Phantom Pain, which I'll talk about later. Now they as a series are quite good, because they feel a lot like the animated series and some of the comic runs, which are very good. Although I'm not a big fan of the animated series, there's its style doesn't really do much for me.
The one with Mark Hamill.
Yeah, that doesn't do much for me. I'm not a huge Hamill Joker fan.
No?
No, not really. There's something a bit off about the voice.
You think? I think it's one
he's
of the
good.
more spot on things.
No, he's good in it. It's just that's not my Joker. My Joker's in my head.
Right.
Because mine is from the comics. And there's never going to be... Even Heath Ledger, as great as he was in it, he's not really who...
Yeah. I would say that Mark Hamill was a better Joker.
I disagree with you. I think Ledger's better, but I'm also bringing in the physical performance. Which, to me, tips it. But at the same time, the people online that are going, Hamill should be the next Joker, you're like, get a grip on yourself. He is an old man.
I don't think he would be a good...
physical one wouldn't work.
On
it works
screen,
because of the voice. The voice is good, but it's not my one. He's probably... I'm never gonna have like a top 3 for it, but he's gonna be the higher up ones. Even though he's not my guy,
Hamill.
He fits for that version of it. He fits in the games because that voice is perfect for it. They were like pretty solid ones though.
Mm-hmm.
But as soon as you've done everything in them, there's not any need to keep them. As soon as I finished Arkham Asylum, I was like, I don't need to play this again.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as you finish Arkham City, kind of same. I never played Arkham Origins. I don't know why. I just didn't.
I heard it was pretty shite.
It's the worst one, but it's still meant to be alright.
It was quite rushed out.
Yeah, it was a different studio as well.
Was it?
But Arkham Knight's pretty good. But as soon as you finished it, you don't need to return to it. There's nothing keeping you. But that's another series which always gets hyped up. People are just like, it's coming, and then it comes out, and it's like, yeah, it's still a game. Be cool. There's nothing like games will like make you feel certain things and do influence you bigly in a big bad way.
Yeah.
But the current way games are marketed really confuses me because it feels a lot like movies. My friend Mark wrote a very brilliant thing for this animator website magazine.
Okay.
Which is how. Movie animation is taking a lot of cues from games, and that's the wrong way to go about it, because the way games work as a storytelling device is because you're kind of doing it.
Yeah.
And even ones which you're not the character. For example, I play the Metal Gear Solid games. I love them. That's one of my favorite series.
Right.
I am not Solid Snake. I'm kind of just seeing what Snake does, and I have some small influence over what he does. But the overarching story, I am not that character. I'm essentially watching a movie.
Yeah, it varies from game to game.
I know.
In like say Skyrim, you are
that character to an extent.
Yeah.
But he was just saying how games work by getting their graphics more and more lifelike, and it works. Whereas when a movie does it, that's upsetting.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think like the difference between the two is that in a film, you can look at something that becomes so lifelike you can tell it's not.
Well, there's the uncanny valley, but that's not even what Mark was getting at. He was getting into something much deeper than that, which I'm probably going to butcher trying to explain it.
Right.
But it's how they're based off of cartoons.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the genius of cartoons was, the early ones especially, they looked like they were made of rubber. Adventure Time and Rick and Morty are kind of the best ones right now for doing that.
Right.
You can tell that's not real, and it's fun, and it's full of colour, and it's just life. It's lifelike without looking real.
Yeah.
Whereas the ones that are trying to become more realistic, you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot because they're still doing the exact same unrealistic, cartoony things, but it's real, and it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Now, I'm saying that even though like Brave is one of my favourite animated films.
Right.
But it works for Brave because there's exaggeration in those characters.
Yeah,
Billy Connolly is playing a huge barrel with one leg, and Merida's got crazy fire red hair.
Yeah.
So it works. Pixar gets away with it because they're creative, whereas like Blue Sky and Illumination and DreamWorks don't because they're dickheads. Like, I don't like Ratatouille. I don't think it's a very good movie.
Okay.
But the idea behind it...
Is that not Pixar?
It was Pixar, but I didn't like it. But the idea of it is pretty interesting. It's quite creative.
Yeah.
Whereas DreamWorks will go, what if there was a snail that was quick, and they all have this stupid smirk look. Every DreamWorks poster has a smirk on it, and it's such a strange thing to do because they're clearly marketed for kids, but the jokes in them aren't really aimed at adults. They're kind of for teenagers, but a teenager wouldn't be in that audience, even when they are. So instead you've got this strange limbo where kids will leave it being really pumped up, but they didn't like that movie.
Yeah.
They were just looking at some colours for a couple hours and hearing some noises, and you've got parents that are just like, ugh. So.
Kung Fu Panda was good.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was.
Jack Black.
Oh, I fucking love that film.
Oh, I hate that film. I hate that film so much. I hate that series. It's exactly the reason why I kind of hate a lot of kids stuff.
Yeah.
It's because they very quickly find a success and they just franchise the fuck out of it.
Well, they only made the one sequel.
Yeah, but they're working on the third one. And it's got a TV series. It's got it's got toy lines and stuff.
Right,
It's got all that nonsense. No, I'm not saying Pixar doesn't do that with their stuff, but the difference is their stuff's usually pretty good as well. Like, because they had a Buzz Lightyear cartoon, which was funny. It was quite well made.
I don't really remember it.
It was alright. It was Buzz Lightyear Star Command or something.
Fair enough.
What was I getting at anyway? We were talking about Everest. This all started with Everest.
That was like 45 minutes ago.
A long time ago.
Yeah, let's go back to Everest.
I'll just briefly discover poster study is easy. You just look at a poster and you figure out, does that poster look like anything else around you? And secondly, what's it trying to convey to you?
Maybe helps working in a cinema where we're surrounded by posters.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But you can also just do it anyway, because if you go outside, you're bombarded. No, if you're on a computer, statistically most people are in front of a computer.
Yeah.
Then just wait to see what's a trailer or what's being shown to you as being a big thing. The Everest poster does nothing for me because it's just got three guys all looking in different directions when the mountain's behind them. So for people going up a mountain, they're going the wrong way. And it's got like based on a true story or something like that.
Yeah.
And then I'm instantly just like gone. Plus also Everest, if they were doing the true story of Everest, it should be just really, really depressing and boring where they go up Everest and they're like, oh, beautiful, and it's just full of trash. Because Everest's like
frozen bodies and shit like that.
Yeah, because I know the Everest disaster they're talking about.
Yeah.
But it just looks like it's just a tired film as well. In the film, there's a lot of cliches and tropes.
Mm.
Well, they're just cliches, really.
Like when he's in the trailer, when he's going over the crevice.
Yeah, and nearly falls, but he doesn't. It's like he's not in danger. It's like why? Well, he's roped in for one, and I know he has to live because he's on the poster. He's not going to die until the last 20 minutes.
Yeah. If he does.
If he dies.
Or when he does.
Who knows? Well, I do because I've read the real account.
Yeah, well, obviously.
There's a lot of people that don't. I know.
Yeah.
But there's also.
I haven't because I don't care.
That's probably the wrong attitude.
Just like I won't go and see it, because I don't care.
I might see it. Probably not, but maybe. And also you've got Jason Clarke's character. His wife's just like, why are you going up that mountain? And he's like, because I have to. That's tired. It's just like The Martian. Lewis lent me the book The Martian.
Yeah.
It's alright.
See,
I've liked it less the more I've thought about it. But
yeah. Well, I saw the trailer's
really bad
for the first time.
Ugh.
You just said the trailer was bad.
It's really bad.
I liked it with
No, I didn't like it.
Jimi Hendrix.
No, I didn't like that.
No.
No, because like The Martian as a book really works because it's quite funny in a lot of places.
Yeah. Well, I thought it was going for a serious.
It's going for a serious tone, but then they're playing All in the Watchtower, and they've got really pretty bad lines in that coming from Matt Damon saying that he's going to science the shit out of it. You're like, who you're exclusively talking to those dickheads that are subscribed to I fucking love science. Those dickheads are the only people you're reaching with that line.
I'm subscribed to I fucking love science.
You're a dickhead then. They're not as bad as the people that like Humans of New York. Those people are proper pricks.
Yeah, you're just a big fan of
lizard people. I love that. That's my favorite thing Alex has ever gave me. She sent me it.
Not her love, not her devotion. No,
so that might finish one day, but lizard people in New York is probably going to outlast me. I
half expected that to be you.
Me? I would never amass that amount of followers. I would piss people off by then.
Probably,
yeah. Also, I don't live in New York.
Yeah, but he's just taking pictures from actual Humans in New York.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so much better than what I would have done. I'd have just drawn lizards. I still have something coming out that I've never got around to doing. It's the Peppa Pig things I used to do.
Oh, wow.
They're good,
yeah,
I know.
Yeah.
I still need to do them because I've shown them to people.
Well, take pictures of them and send them to me. Put them in the description for viewers.
Maybe
listeners.
I'm trying to think of something to do with it, but they're good. I like them because I've shown people them. They're like, these are really funny. Really stupid though. They're easy to draw. That's why. And Alex has got pink paper, so I can actually do it without using till roll.
Till roll.
Which actually, may have added more to it.
I've done a fair amount of drawings on Till Roll.
I know you have, but I think the Till Roll adds something to it. But the poster study again is just, and even the trailer, just tired. There's tired little things in it that need to go away. Like in The Martian, do you know what? People are going to be like, spoilers, but you know, fuck you. The book's been out for ages. And if he's not got a family in The Martian.
In the book?
In the book, he doesn't have one.
Right, okay. But in the film, he will.
But in the trailer, it looks like he's touching a screen of his family.
Yeah.
Why do that? That's such a straight... We already care about the guy. He's on Mars. He's going to die. We already care about him enough. Also,
yeah, but like Americans go for this thing where they're like,
doesn't matter.
Think of he's leaving his children behind.
Doesn't matter. It would be more impressive. And this is, I'll talk about Ridley Scott in a minute because he's directing it. But in the book, the things that I fell out with the book are just moral things that I'm interested in, and the book's clearly not interested in talking about it, which is fine because it's not the point of it. Mm-hmm. But it looks like they're going to touch on the subject of it, and they don't. And it's that, again, I'm not spoiling anything. People find out he's on Mars. Mm-hmm. The world finds out he's on Mars.
You see that in the trailer.
See that in the trailer. So they're making up plans to save him, and there's a bit in the book where they're going, well, this costs X amount of billions, and this costs X amount of billions to save this one guy. Mm. And there's like a throwaway line where someone's like, it's kind of messed up that we're spending probably about $1 trillion, £1 trillion to save this one man, and there's people on our planet starving right now. And they just gloss over it by going, if we can't save one, we'll never save all. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? You could fix...
That's not even an answer.
No, that's not an answer. And I know why they did it. They just did it as like, well, no, it's clearly care about him, so they're going to save him. Mm. But morally, that like totally threw me out. I was like, well, NASA's a dick because of this. But at the same time, I'll go with it. It's a story. I understand what they're doing. And then there's a bit which is really, really good where the other astronauts, which are safe, are on the way home, and one of them, like a German one, is saying, he's talking to his wife. He's finally got some communication to her, and he's saying like, oh, we left someone behind. If we could, we would save him. But if I saved him, it would mean I'd be away for another 4 years, and coming back would be just as long. I wouldn't see our child until he's 10. And his wife saying, you weren't there for the birth of your kid, and I understood it. But why would you not want to see your child until they're 10 years old? And he's like, it's the importance of my crewmate. And she goes, I don't care, he's not my crewmate, but you're my husband. I want to see you could die up there,
which is justifiable.
It's a very justifiable thing. But again, the book just kind of hand waves it away, and that bothered me. That really bothered me,
because they obviously will go back. They go back for him,
maybe they do.
Well, I mean, that's in the trailer.
Is it?
Yeah.
But he dies because aliens are on there and they eat his face.
Yeah.
Also, it's got the lesser marrow.
He's actually allergic to asparagus, and that's the only thing that he can.
No, he only grows potatoes.
Is that what he grows?
The potatoes are essentially the second character in that book. I texted Lewis. I was like, you know what? This guy's pretty good with potatoes. And then Lewis just went, yeah, they're essentially the second character. And he's right, the potatoes essentially are the second character.
Does he draw a face on one and pretend it's...
He's not crazy, he's an astronaut.
Yeah, but it's like Tom
and it's
Hanks
not like Castaway, because Castaway, Tom Hanks was a mailman.
Not an astronaut.
You could be a mailman, Mike. Whereas if you want to be an astronaut, you would have to change a lot.
I could be an astronaut.
I know you could, but you'd have to do a lot of things different.
No, but...
Yeah, you would. You'd have to have a degree for one.
Nah.
You have to have a degree in science.
Nah.
You have to go to the military.
Nah.
You have to change your lifestyle. You have to change your diet. You have to change everything.
Fuck that.
Fuck that. You would just show up to Cape Canaveral.
I'll knock on the front door of NASA. Hey, Mr. NASA, let me in.
Mr. NASA.
They'll be like, what do you think?
What can you do?
Like, you're an eccentric billionaire. Send me to space.
Actually, you got a good point. You could probably make friends with Richard Branson and convince him to send. Yeah, you got a good point.
Yeah, and then NASA would be like, fuck off, Mike.
Fuck off. You've been here twice.
Yeah, like, hey, okay, can you eat astronaut food? No. No, send me up with a packet of crisps.
I'd eat astronaut food.
I would eat astronaut food.
It looks quite good, actually.
Yeah.
It looks tasteless. That's kind of what I'm interested in.
Yeah.
Because
they have like roast chicken dinner. It's just like toothpaste, isn't it?
It's just a paste. Yeah. That's what I want. I can't wait for this Soylent stuff to kick off, man.
Soylent Green.
Soylent Green, the movie, is great, and I think he named it after the movie, which is kind of worrying. But there's a guy who has essentially made a meal drink.
Right.
and you just drink one a day, and that's just all your protein, all your minerals, vitamins, everything you need. And Alex is not up for it.
I would try it. I would try it.
I would buy it. I signed up to be one of the beta testers for this in Europe, and then they got back to me and went, no, our beta testers quota is full, because I was just wanting to oh my god, I would love to not be eating, which is such a horrible, selfish thing to say, but if you could just have one thing,
and that's your whole day.
That's your whole day, because I'm on that diet already.
You don't have to have 3 a day, or
you don't need to do that. I'm on this new diet, which is brilliant, but if you could just have, it's the preparation that bugs me and the taste. If you could just have a thing that's tasteless, if it's just water essentially, you just drink it and that is you could then dedicate the rest of your time to doing stuff, because you spend so much time just frittering away on food and bullshit.
It's great.
Fucking hate food, man, and I can say that because I've got access to it as well. That's the worst part.
You've got access to food.
That's why I can hate it.
Shit.
I know, but people spend too much time. The only arguments me and Alex have are about food, and that would deal with that right off the bat. I'm like, you know what, you eat your food and I'm going to be genetically perfect.
A vegetarian or something?
No, she just loves cooking. She loves all food. She just loves everything. You couldn't pay that girl to be a vegetarian. She likes just the taste of too much stuff. But yeah, it's just a hassle. I hate trying to prepare stuff.
When I talk about vegetarianism, I feel like a born... I say this, but without probably truly grasping what it means. I feel like a born again Christian.
No. What you're looking for is when you're talking about vegetarians, you're like an alcoholic that stopped drinking. Because there's nobody that shits on alcoholics more.
Because alcoholics who talk about other alcoholism maybe want to go back.
No,
I have no.
The people who have been sober for 20 years, they relish slamming into other alcoholics. They're just like, drinking, bro? I gave that up 20 years ago. They're just like, so what? You gave up a good hobby. But yeah, you used to be vegetarian. Talking about Steve, about you as well. I think you made a mistake.
You were talking with Steve.
I told him you were a vegetarian when you were in America, and he was like, "Oh, rookie mistake, bro." Yeah, I know.
Oh right, yeah, right. I thought you were meaning our boss.
Steve Christie wouldn't give a fuck if you were vegetarian. I was vegan. I go vegan every couple months.
Yeah.
It's shite. I only go vegan because
you wear so much leather.
Yeah, that's right. I'm not a moral vegan.
No, but is that not part of veganism?
I don't give a fuck. No. Veganism is, to me, you either do it because it's healthier. Just being a vegetarian is healthier anyway.
Being a vegetarian is healthier, but being a vegan, I would argue, is.
No, vegan's way healthier as well. I know.
No, I think it's detrimental.
It's not detrimental
because you have to.
There's B12 deficiencies. I know, but there's things you can eat which have trace amounts of B12, and you would just pack on that. I know all that.
Yeah.
But being a vegan's bad. When I say as a vegan, I'm being really loose with that term. I didn't subscribe 100% to it, but I tried. There was
someone who, when I was in America, said something very similar to, not a direct quote, but something similar to, "Oh yeah, I'm a vegetarian. I just eat chicken and turkey." Right.
I think that's okay, because I live with a vegetarian who, whenever she's drunk, she'll just slam into meat, and she's just like, that's my one uncontrollable drunk thing. Other drunk people
yeah, but she was a Mormon, and so she would never drink.
Okay.
But then I suppose if you're a Mormon, you've got to give yourself something, and if you can't have if you can't even have a Pepsi,
if you can't do heroin, you may as well just eat chicken, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I'll give you that.
Well, I try and go vegan every couple months, and it doesn't last. It's just purely because Alex is away for a few months, so she's not going to make any. She makes, honestly, one of the best meals I've ever eaten is Alex's paprika chicken, because she showed me how to make it, but she always makes it 10 times better. So, and once I've eaten that, I kind of then wean off chicken as just a thing, and then we'll go back normal KFC to fuck. But so every couple months, I'll just kind of eat just rice and potatoes and beans and shit.
Yeah.
I'm not a big veggie eater, but I have a plan to start eating more veggie stuff, and I'll see how it goes next week.
See how it goes.
Because I'm on this really good. I say it's good. I've only been doing it for 5 days, and it's kicking my ass right now. You fast for 18 hours every day.
Okay.
And then 2 hours before you go to bed, you just let loose, man. You just eat as much as you want.
Oh, because you digest slower during sleep.
Right. I'm gonna again butcher the science on this. But you store that kind of stuff when you're sleeping, but you also do burn it off anyway. There's but but of course everyone's body's different. Your genetics are always different. I'm very lucky genetically, but so you
speak for yourself. Eh?
I know. I'm aware of that. I've become more aware of that the older I've got. So you eat like loads. So I go to bed each night essentially with a small child living inside me.
Right.
And then the next morning it's died down a bit, but then you have to exercise for at least 3 hours that day.
Right.
Because when you're awake, from when you awake to when you fall asleep, your body's burning up energy anyway.
Yeah.
Your circadian rhythms or some nonsense is working on it. So you then eat before you sleep just because you'll need that food the next day. You'll need that energy to go. And you're just fasting and it works. You drop a lot of weight really quickly and it doesn't restrict what you're eating. There's a lot of diets which tell you need to cut this out.
Yeah.
The warrior diet, which is what I'm on, it's so gay. It's just like, it recommends you eat just healthily anyway. That's just a good
go-to. Was it written by Shia LaBeouf?
It wasn't.
Right,
it was written by... It was written by this guy called Ori Hoftelminker or something. But it's been backed up by like other nutritionists and stuff. Right. But it's not recommended for everybody because you can snack though. That's the thing. You can snack during the day. So, but then I thought, what if some people's idea of a snack is different from others? Yeah. So I was telling Stacey about it. She was like, what's your criteria of a snack? And I was like, let me think.
An apple.
Nah. If it's over £3, it's not a snack. So if it's over £3, it's a meal.
You think?
Kind of. I'm aware that my limits are a bit different.
So you could buy a double cheeseburger and a male chicken from McDonald's
for
less than £3.
No.
Yes.
Yeah, you're right. Fuck.
That to you would be a snack.
Here's the thing though, a double cheeseburger, like nutritionally, is one of the best things you can eat.
You think?
Yeah. Like the protein, iron, fiber, magnesium, just the content of one of those is pretty good, and it's also got really low calories. Saturated fat's low.
You know that
for a double cheeseburger,
the Big Mac, right, has pickles on it because
it's to fulfill a criteria.
Yeah. If it didn't, it would have so much sugar
in the bun.
Yeah, it would have so much sugar in it that would be classed as a dessert.
Yeah, a double cheeseburger. You can look that up, by the way. That's an actual thing a nutritionist wrote about them because people were slaying them. He was like, "You're talking shit," and then he broke it down. And like, "Oh, you're right." It's still not recommending people like go chowing down on double cheeseburgers, but you could probably munch one and it's not going to fill you. I'd count that as a snack actually. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, mayo chicken though. No, it's got mayonnaise on it.
Yeah,
I like mayonnaise. So.
You don't like mayo?
No, I am amazed by so many things though, food-wise, that are essentially desserts. Because like if you, the Steve Jobs of food, Starbucks, all of their coffees are essentially birthday cake. You might as well just eat birthday cake instead of a Starbucks. And going back doesn't give you much energy anyway. It's really low on just calories. Well, it's not a good thing to drink. It's expensive as fuck.
Coffee's not particularly healthy for you, is it?
That's another grey area. There's like a lot of people that go, if you're going to be addicted to anything, be addicted to caffeine. It's fairly benign, but depending on what coffee you drink, like a latte is full of like milk and sugar and shit, then no. But if you're meaning like just black coffee, like you've got a bean, or if you're just eating coffee beans, I know people that eat coffee beans. That's alright. You're probably fine. That's what I would say.
Okay.
What have you been up to, Mike?
What have I been up to?
Yeah, what have you been up to?
Not much. No. Sort of chilling.
Killing.
My whole hinge shirts are in the wash.
I heard.
I know. It's heartbreaking, isn't it?
It's a sad day for the world.
Yeah, but I actually had some news stories that I wanted to talk about.
So did I, but I forgot them.
It
was Joyzy news too.
Connection down here, so I'm hoping that it still works.
What time are we on, by the way?
Oh, it doesn't. Oh, what time are we on? We're currently an hour and 23 minutes in.
Jesus.
No
way have I spoke for that long.
Jesus. It was about the first story that I wanted to talk about was about there's a Japanese city who have created an app, right, for people to take pictures of dog poo. Right?
Dog poo, they're funny.
Because, right, it's become such an epidemic.
Wait, dog poo?
Yeah.
Do you think like the Centre of Disease Control keeps looking in the toilet bowl and going, no!
Right, so like, yeah, apparently like they've tried taking measures to make people clean up after the dogs.
Oh, I get you now.
But they just don't do it.
Yeah.
So
I saw someone doing that the other day.
What? Just take a picture of dog shit?
No,
or just watch their dog take a shit and then walk
their
away.
dog shit. Do you know the big fancy, the Bastille?
No.
Right. There's a building in Aberdeen called the Bastille.
Okay.
And it's red brick. It's beautiful. I nearly lived there. I'm still pissed off I don't live there. And a guy, it's got like a receptionist and everything. It's one of these like closed off things.
Yeah.
And a guy's dog like took a shit in front of its front doors. And there was like a night watchman looking at him do it.
Yeah.
And the guy just like sauntered off.
Walked away.
And I was like, you're
That's
a shit
balls.
night watchman for one.
The night watchman or the guy with the dog?
The guy with the dog just walked
Yeah.
away, didn't give a fuck. But the night watchman's a shit night watchman. He should have been like,
here.
not on my watch. Beat the fuck out of him. Beat the fuck out of his mum. Beat the fuck out of his dog. Beat the fuck out of the dog's mum.
Chased after him.
Yeah, made him eat the shit.
Yeah.
That's what I would do if I was a night watchman.
Maybe that's why you're not a night watchman.
Probably the reason I'm not a lot of things.
What? Because somebody's dog takes a shit and you chase after them and beat up their family.
That's why I'm not a what is it called? An EMT. The emergency medical technician. Come in the ambulance. It's just like, what happened to you? I got bald. Who fucking bald you? Gonna kick their head in, their mum's head in.
What you mate? I'll sort it.
Their dads, their dogs, their parakeet. I don't care.
The parakeet.
I'll fight a parakeet. I can take a parakeet.
I don't know. I don't know if you could.
I think that size.
I'm allergic to parakeets.
1-2 combo punch.
I've got a deathly allergy to parakeets.
Bullshit. Allergic to birds?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah. And dogs.
And everything.
Yeah.
I'm allergic to grass.
Eh?
It's shite, isn't it?
It's pretty grim. Yeah. Yeah. When I first went to America, my coordinator was telling me about how she was like a cancer survivor.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, she said, yeah, so now I just like embrace like the little things in life, you know. It's just like good for you. She was like, yeah, like that hill, I just really want to roll down it. And I was like, okay, let's roll down it then. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it was because I'm a fucking kid and I thought the world was fucking rainbows. And then it got
the world was fucking rainbows. I want that as a tattoo.
The world is fucking
right
rainbows.
On my newly formed six pack. The world is fucking rainbows.
Fucking rainbows.
I'm gonna have a
so
company.
I got fucking red welts all over my arm.
I don't get it that bad.
No,
I just.
It was a big hill.
All right,
that's what I want. That's what I want as a badge. It was a big hill.
It was a big hill. In your CV, I rolled down a big hill once, even though it gave me welts. Gives you hives as well.
Yeah.
I'm allergic to dust too.
Yeah, same.
I can't.
Same.
I don't know how I function. I must be invincible because I'm still here.
I am invincible. So.
Yeah, that's true. Because you rule the world, though.
I do.
You win the Illuminati.
Yeah.
The Illuminati. Why
do you think we'll ever be famous enough that people will make like Jordan Rogers is Illuminati confirmed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I want to be like famous.
You don't
is
count
such a
when you're making
thing.
these videos. You don't count.
No, I don't.
You can't make I am Illuminati.
No. I know that. But like fame's a stupid thing. I'm not sure I'd want to be famous, but I certainly want stuff that I make to get out there one day.
Yeah.
Do you know what I would like? If there was ever like a top 10 of something, I'd like to be like 7th.
7th? Not top 5?
No, I'm okay with 7th. 7th's quite
maybe
a nice
maybe I'm too ambitious then.
You want to fuck your mum?
Because I would like to be top 5. Maybe not 1. Yeah.
I wouldn't. Here's the thing. If like I'm probably not ever gonna be good enough to be like a pro Muay Thai fighter, like, because I don't do it enough anyway.
Yeah, kick the shit out of Tony Jaa.
I could kick the shit out of Tony Jaa. No, I kick the shit out of Vinny Jones. Not Tony Jaa. Tony Jaa would break me in half, man.
He'd break most people in half.
I know. Fair. Tony Jaa. And oh, by the way, the thing last week we were talking about the raid.
Mm-hmm.
It's Silat. That martial art is called Silat. Yeah, I call it Pankrat, which is not.
I went and watched a decent amount of the raid 2. I had to stop because I had to go do stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I kind of oversold how much plot was in it because it kicks off after about 20 minutes.
Yeah, I told you.
And then it goes, and then it doesn't really stop.
It goes at a monster pace. It slows down a bit at the end.
Yeah.
But my God, that kitchen fight is something else.
Yeah.
With the Krambits, that's crazy.
See, like even the very first fight scene where he's in the toilet.
Prison, that's so fucking crazy.
Yeah. Oh, it's immense.
All of it's great.
Yeah.
I love the raid too.
Yeah.
But yeah, Tony Jaa would break me in half. Vinnie Jones, no way. I could break most people that look like they'd be on EastEnders. If you see somebody that looks like they'd be on EastEnders, I could have them.
I'll bear that in mind.
If you see someone and you go, he'd run the Queen Vic, I'd be like, yeah, I'd run his ass. That's what I'd do.
I'm sorry, but you probably wouldn't be the first person that I'd call if I was in a fight.
Sorry. I know
it would be John, the security guard.
I'm going to his restaurant.
Yeah?
Yeah, as soon as I find out where the fucking thing is. He's told me where it is.
I know where it is.
I'm going to go as soon as I can because Alex's really interested. And to be fair,
it's all like traditional Nigerian food, isn't it?
Yeah, she's down for that. And
no, I'm not slagging it. It sounds amazing.
All right, okay.
Because he cooked for me once.
Oh.
Yeah, he cooked and brought it in to work and gave me like this big pot of spicy black beanie fishy rice.
Shame he never.
Which sounds bizarre, but it was good.
No, it's a shame he never doesn't work much anymore.
Yeah, well, he's got the restaurant now.
I know he does, but still, come on, John. Just show up. Just be mates. Just be mates with John.
Do we know if he listens? Is he an avid listener to?
Doubt it very much.
Yeah, you could put it on for the customers to listen to.
They'd be like, "What the fuck is this?"
Yeah.
And he goes, "This is traditional Scottish entertainment." It's like, oh, it's very strange.
Yeah. And why are they talking about comic books?
Because actually, because the first comic book shop in Britain was opened in Glasgow because of American sailors.
Wow, there you go then.
There you go. That's some more.
There you go then.
Some more facts. Anyway, about fame. Nah, I'm not really interested in becoming famous unless I'm huge in one country.
Like Australia.
Love to be huge in Australia. I'd love to be essentially this huge Australian cult figure. That.
Do you think they like worship? Do you think fame is being worshipped like in a cult activity?
No. There's some really good, interesting arguments about that I've thought of and read about, of how you've replaced religious figures with famous people because they're kind of the same anyway.
Yeah, I can see that.
But I'm not talking about that. I would just love to be like this underground thing in Australia where everyone in Australia knows about me. And then
I listened to him before he was cool.
Yeah, like they would go here and be like, he's right there. It's like, we know, we don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Like, he's huge. He's like,
but he is the one.
He's like Vegemite. And then they'd be like, what's Vegemite? And every Australian, if there's any Australians listening now, they'll have like lost their fucking shit. They'll be like, Vegemite, I love Vegemite.
No, wait, are you saying people here don't know what Vegemite is?
Yeah.
Nah.
Well, they'll have heard it as a joke in the same way that people will have heard about Tim Hortons in Canada and went, oh yeah, that's a Canadian thing.
Right.
Like, I imagine you'd want to be a folk hero in Canada. Oh, like, imagine if there was people in Saskatchewan just going, he's really good, eh? You listen to Getting to Know Mojo,
wants to be a Mountie, eh?
You'd go to Canada and they treat you like a god, and then you go to the States and they're just like, nobody gives a fuck. I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't mind just being unrecognised here as just a nobody,
famous,
and then go to Australia and just selling out shit, and then because it would be so weird, people going like, why are they so into him there? Just like how blew my mind when I found out Japan was crazy into like pro wrestling and hair metal. Yeah. Like, Japan's still nuts about hair metal.
Yeah.
And it's weird because the rest of the world's just moved on. And Japan's really up for it. They're like, fucking
yeah.
Or when you find out Indonesia loves Hitler. Or is it Thailand? It's one of the two.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
There was a KFC in Thailand that they changed to HFC and they just made the Colonel Hitler.
Wow.
And they like, KFC got in touch with them and was like, that's not okay.
Please don't.
What are you doing? And they were like, no, Hitler. And they're not like pro Hitler.
He had sound economic policies.
They didn't work. They're sound of paper. He built the autobahn. I was like, you don't even have highways in Thailand. What are you talking about? Yeah, I would love to be this huge cult figure in another country. Do you know where I'd really love to be a huge cult figure?
Where?
Boston.
Boston?
Yeah.
Why? Boston's such a...
I'm just doing it to annoy you.
Okay.
Belgium. I'd love to be huge.
Belgium?
I would love it if we were
it's fine.
really
Belgium's
big
not even a
Belgium.
country, so...
Yeah, this is why I want to be big in Belgium. I hope people in Belgium listen to this as a hate thing. They're just like, fucking hate that guy.
There's like some massive petition in Belgium to get me off the air.
Get me off the air. It's like, getting to know nobody.
No, I'd want to be big in Andorra.
I've heard of
It's a principality.
Do you want to hear about a story about Andorra?
Okay.
Right. Probably not true what I'm about to tell you. There was a guy who went to Tokyo Airport in 1954
Okay.
And he was a businessman, and he was talking to like the customs guy, and oh fuck, right, I don't remember the name. It's brilliant though.
Okay.
Was that me? Sorry. Right, so he's at Tokyo Airport, and he says, "Oh yeah, I make this trip every year, and I go like 6-7 places every couple months. I sell this, and this, and then he goes to passport control, and they check his passport, and I'm trying to find you the name of it right now. Do you want to just fill the silence while I find the name?
Fill the silence. Babidi doop bop da ba, dee bop bop doo, ribbidi dee beep da bop boo, ribbidi dee dee.
I'm gonna have to keep going. I'll tell you as soon as it shows up. Just.
Keep going.
In fact, tell me about Andorra. There you go.
Tell me. Okay, it's a principality between, I want to say, Switzerland and France. That's about it. I did read something really interesting about Andorra the other day, but I've forgotten what it was. So, have fun not knowing that.
I've got a question for you.
Okay.
Actually, what's your favourite game?
So you're gonna hate this answer, but it's the Ocarina of Time, Legend of Zelda.
I do hate that answer. Can you try and convince me at least?
I think. Well, maybe there's a nostalgia factor. But I think it was, for the time, it incorporated music so well.
Wait, what do you mean? Because there's like better examples. Yeah, I've played it.
Oh,
who you think you're talking to?
Wait, okay, so picture yourself in 1997, right?
Okay. You might have lost me here.
Right. Are there what game that has come out by that point has used music to the same, like, has incorporated it within the gameplay to that point, and done it better?
Banjo-Kazooie.
No.
Yeah?
No.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man. The music of Zelda is annoying.
No, the music in Zelda is amazing.
Nah, it's irritating. It's the Beatles.
No, it's not.
It is, because like a kid can just kind of bop along to it. There's nothing that interesting about it.
No.
Well, right, other than so you're genuinely telling me the music. Oh, here we go. I'll tell you about this quickly. I'll go into games, because I'm a huge game nerd. Alright, here we go. Right, so 1950. I got that fucking year right. I am amazing. Right, so he went to Tokyo Airport, and he had his bag and his passport. So he's at passport control.
Okay.
And they're looking at it, and they're like, "This passport's a fake." And he goes, "No, I'm from Torred."
Okay.
And Torred's not real. Fucking, you're making it up. This is a fake passport. But they look at the passport's real. It exists.
Yeah.
And he's got stamps from other countries on it. And then he whips out this currency from Torred. And then he whips out this paperwork from Torred.
Right.
And all this stuff saying he's from this country called Torred that doesn't exist. And they go, "Show us where it is." And they bring out like a world map. And he points to Andorra.
Right.
And he's pointing at it, and he's like, "That doesn't exist. Andorra's not real. That's Torred."
Right.
And they don't really know what to do with this guy. So they're just trying to figure out what to do. So they give him to immigration control, and they can't arrest him because he's not done anything wrong.
Yeah.
So they put him in a hotel room, essentially, and they have 2 guards outside his door. And
is this what that was it Tom Hanks film, the Terminal?
No. Terminal's not as
it was a Ukrainian
spooky
guy.
as this.
It was a Ukrainian guy.
So the guy's in the hotel room most of the night, and then the next morning they're gonna have to question him some more, because if he's forged these documents, first of all, why would he think why does he think it's gonna work? And secondly, they're of such incredible quality. How did he do it?
Yeah.
And this is this is 54. There's no processors. You can't do this stuff. He's had to do them by hand.
Yeah.
And they go to his room, and the guards have got the key. They're the ones with the key, and there was no windows in it either. It was like a blocked off room. And they opened it, and he's gone. There's nothing of him there that proves that he exists. But there's like dozens of witnesses. There's his name's was written down in the registry and everything. This guy
just vanished.
Fucking vanished.
No.
And that's one of the crazy reasons why people think there's multiple universes. They're like, this guy must have just shown up in one, because that's such a crazy thing going. Andorra doesn't exist, Torred does. So in his head, he was from Andorra, but it was called Torred.
Yeah.
But the spooky thing is the documentation. That it was all legit. It's Taurian, yeah. And the currency is like nothing they've seen.
It's pretty crazy.
It was so spooky, man.
But that scat singing though.
The Torred National Anthem though is brilliant because I think it's Get Low by Ludacris.
Oh wow,
which is impressive because Ludacris wasn't even born back then.
That's true.
Which proves parallel universe. Done. That's it.
That's all, folks.
That's all, folks. And then I won't exist as soon as I leave the room.
Yeah.
Right. So Ocarina of Time.
Ocarina of Time.
You're the first to give me the music. People do tout the music as being incredible.
I think the story is good.
Here's the thing. My problem is 1997. I don't have very good memories of 1997.
Okay.
I just can't remember much. But there was games out before that are far better, that implement music in a much better way. Final Fantasy VI was out then, man. Final Fantasy IV was out before it.
Was it Final Fantasy VI?
6 was before it. 6 was like 94, 96. Yeah,
right.
94, best year ever. Yeah, it's not music. You're the first to go. The music's a deciding factor.
The dungeon design is really good as well.
Maybe. My problem with Ocarina is with the entire Zelda thing as a whole is just it's the same thing each time. The designs don't do anything for me either. They're too childish for me. But that's because, to be fair though, that's kind of
the theme.
That's the theme, and it's also me. I never got into childish RPGs. Even as a little kid, I was playing like hardcore ones really quickly.
Which is maybe why you resonate more with like Final Fantasy. So that's
kind of, but I've also grown to hate the kiddie Final Fantasy stuff. After 10, they've kind of lost me. 10-2 is actually quite good. People shit all over it, but it's actually quite good. I'm much more the hardcore adult stuff. I'm not down for... The only time I've ever like softened in my RPG... Because I really get into RPGs. I play them as if, I'm really into them. Because I always fluctuate between two games being the best ever made. And it's Final Fantasy 8, which people shit on, but it's genuinely the best in the series. 7, or the really hardcore ones would be like, it's 6. 6 is good, by the way.
Right.
It's just 7's the most sold. No, it's not. 8 sold more copies. But 7's the one that people latched onto. I think it might be the first one. It was the first 3D one, that's why. So Final Fantasy 8 pretty much is always going to get my pick. It's one of the best games ever. And Skies of Arcadia.
Okay.
Skies of Arcadia is a pretty little known title. It was on the Dreamcast. Now, I can give you...
It rings a bell.
It was.
I don't know if that's because I've seen it or
it's always in huge lists. It's talked about, but it's also something that is difficult to get hold of now. Right. It was on the GameCube briefly, but they compressed the music. When that is a deciding factor. The music in that's really good. But I can it's easier to sell Skies of Arcadia as being the best game ever, if you explain the first 20 minutes of it. So the first 20 minutes, you are 2 air pirates who have saved a princess from an evil empire's flying fortress battleship.
Right.
You've fought a giant bull creature. You've then flown your pirate, which is also... It's in the skies. The islands are in the skies. You've flown...
That's where the title comes from.
Yes, it does.
Holy shit.
Mind blowing. You've flown your pirate ship back to your secret island base on Pirate Isle, which is brilliant.
Okay.
And then you've had a nice dinner with your mum. And then you see moonstones falling onto this ancient island which is covered in ghosts, and you get to go investigate it. That's the first 20 minutes. That's fucking amazing amount of stuff to do in 20 minutes. And it all flows perfectly well, and it's a long game as well.
Right.
Which is why I like it so much. And it's very upbeat. It's a very happy game at the start, and then it gets darker and darker while also retaining this optimistic tone. It's really strange because FF8 is a really quite depressing game because you're playing as these teenagers and life's just shit for them, and everything's all moody. And emo is what people use to describe it now.
Very 90s.
Yeah, actually. Whereas Skies of Arcadia is the opposite. It's so upbeat and it's a companion piece.
Very
I think
2000s.
to them. No, because it was made in the 90s.
Yeah, no, but like.
All right,
that became a thing, you know.
What, being upbeat?
Yeah, like this having this constant like upbeat attitude. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that was just what I perceived. But
your dark head just like everyone's so happy. Fuck everybody.
If I would also say
there's other ones
favorite games.
Missing out on
favorite games. Say Dishonored was amazing.
Right. I got Dishonored, but
people,
I didn't get into
it. I've never really spoken to anyone who has enjoyed it as much as I have because I've played it through like 2 or 3 times.
Right, I played it the once and I really tried to do it stealthily.
Yeah.
And I loved the design. The designs in that things are amazing. I'm not a big fan of steampunk.
Yeah, same.
But same. I love just a lot of the artwork of that. And there's a thing, it might be just because I like Moby Dick a lot, the whale thing. Just their whole discussion about whale industry. And the whales in that are different. They look more like sharks. But then there's the, what's he called? The Outsider or something? The
guy. The ghosty guy.
Yeah, their version of God. He's like very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, the designs are great. I just never the story didn't quite flow with me. I knew what was happening.
I don't enjoy it particularly for the story. I think the story was all right. You know, it wasn't anything,
I was never confused.
It wasn't anything. Yeah, it wasn't anything to give awards to.
Yeah.
But the level design was probably the best that I've ever played because like I've not only have I sat and played it a couple of times. I did it different both, like every time that I've played it I've done it different.
Oh, you see,
I've seen other people play it.
I struggled with it quite a lot on
finding like particular routes and stuff.
No, just finding. I always play stuff on the hardest difficulty though.
Yeah.
So there's bits where it has kind of the same problem with Hitman for me, where you're sneaking up on a guy and you're not 100% sure if you're going to get away with this. Dishonored felt like that a lot. You were like, am I going to manage this in time? And I don't know, there was just something off about it. And I was bummed out how that design sold me so much, and then actually playing it became a bit of a chore. Right. But I did feel great when I pulled off something brilliant. When I could pull off like a blink behind somebody, and then while doing that, and then using like the razor mind thing, and like I knew that was going to happen. Like if I'd planned it out, as soon as you pull off one of those, you feel great. But they were few and far between for me. Right.
Well, yeah. Like I have nothing but good things to say about that game.
Okay.
Like I sat and watched other people play it, and they have done different things to me. Yeah. And I think that when you can design a world that different people can manipulate completely differently, but still have that, you know, still reach that same objective. I think is great.
Yeah.
Other games, obviously Borderlands 2.
I'd never been to Borderlands. I've never played Borderlands.
So I've heard loads of people say that they don't like the art style, put them off.
I'm not like, I don't hate cel shade, but I don't know what it is about Borderlands. It might be. I love the concept art.
It works with the theme.
The theme's wacky.
Yeah, and I think if they went for like realistic,
it wouldn't work.
Yeah,
because the first one was a bit realistic. Like they tried to go realism.
It was a little more,
but then they had some weird tonal changes in it as well. With Claptrap, you're just like, so that robot's funny, but I'm being asked to stop murderous rapists. You know? This is a strange tonally game.
I just love the sense of humor in that.
Like, I like Tiny Tina. Tina's quite funny.
Yeah, she's probably really like the most popular.
Yeah.
But like just any game where like there's one quest where it's like the guy who gives you it's called like face McShooty, right? And he says shoot me in the face, right? And that's it, you know.
There's things of that though which are like games which are funny and have huge followings that I don't gel with them.
Yeah, I thought the RPG system was really good.
That's also one that I didn't quite get. I like stuff like that though.
Yeah.
Borderlands might just be something that I don't mind existing.
You never resonated.
Yeah, it's just something that I missed the boat on. I missed the boat on loads of shit.
But yeah, I thought it was a great game. So I've replayed it too many times.
I've got games like that. Skies Arcadia, I do that. So
yeah.
I play at least once a year until this year. I fucking sent my Dreamcast back to Perth like a dumbass.
It's sad.
It is sad. I'm gonna have to get it back now.
And Battle for Middle-earth 2, that was on the PC.
What?
It was that RTS game, Lord of the Rings.
Battle for Middle-earth?
Yeah.
2?
Yeah.
My little brother is addicted to that shit.
Oh, so good.
But
so good.
Hold your praise.
Why?
He's got it on the 360.
One of my friends
I'm with
when
you.
I was in
You
school,
can only play a role
on
a PC.
One of my friends when I was in school had that, and I tried it.
I'm with you. I played it and I was like, it's alright, but it's nothing to write home. I imagine it'd be better on the PC because it's quicker.
On the PC is.
Also, like, I'm not part of the PC Master Race. Never subscribed to it. But I also think a lot of their arguments are complete fucking hoke.
I don't get it.
When they go, first person shooter is better on PC. You're like, why? Well, you can aim better. Like, no, you just click and shoot. That's not how a gun works. Now, I'm admitting A controller is also not how a gun works, but that stick is far more responsive than actively pointing, clicking.
There are like gaming mice will be more sensitive than a controller.
I know, but if you're already playing it, you aim at that point, whereas on a controller you are trying to swivel.
Yeah.
Of course, if we lived in the real world, we'd just have a light gun, like fucking Dino Crisis. So yeah, I've never been part of the master race.
No.
Strategy games should be played on PC.
There are games that work better on both, and I prefer platformers on consoles, and I prefer shooting games on consoles as well.
Platformers are weird for me. They've kind of died out.
Yeah.
Which is a real shame. Although I'm saying that even though I fucking hated them. Like, there was only a few
like Mario 64.
Didn't like Mario. Not a big fan of Mario.
I'm not a big fan of Mario, but Mario 64 was a great game.
I take your word for it. I've played it like twice.
Oh,
and it's just, again, Nintendo's characters don't work for me. Too cute.
They've kind of like marketed themselves as that, though, haven't they?
I know they have, and that's nothing like for them to go, well, we'll change it. Cause
we'll change it for you, Jordan.
Change it for me. Because there's actually times where that's not worked. Because one of my favourite companies, even though they've done nothing good in a long time, is Sega. And they've done that with Sonic recently, where they've made it like more grungy. Like, why that character doesn't work? Knuckles is like a big buff Joycey build. He's like, what's your name? My name's Knuckles. What about you? And you're like, that's weird. And they sexualize up the character. You're like, what the fuck are you doing? Just take it back to
the 2D.
Yeah, or even Sonic Adventure 1 and 2 are really good in the Dreamcast.
They were, yeah.
They were dope as hell, and it's because like the camera was a headache.
Yeah.
But the gameplay was great.
And that was a problem that the Dreamcast had for a lot of stuff. Camera.
Some stuff.
Yeah.
Not all.
I think that's us at about time.
No.
Do you want to keep going?
I want to tell you about the Phantom Pain.
Okay, right. We'll talk about the Phantom Pain.
Don't buy the Phantom Pain.
Okay, well, I'm not a big fan of Metal Gear Solid.
Metal Gear Solid.
But
it's
why?
a life changer. Metal Gear Solid is an important series to have. Everyone should own at least one title.
Okay, but why is the Phantom Pain not good?
It will just steal.
Oh, is it? You don't buy it because it's amazing.
It's a time vampire, man. I bought it last week, maybe.
Okay.
And I traded in 4 stuff for it, and I got it essentially for free. And I've been playing it. Not a lot. I've only played like maybe 10, 12 hours. And I've only got 11% of the story done, man. It tracks how far in the game. I've not even started playing it. It's crazy how good it is. That's good though,
because like I think that
value for money.
Yeah. If I like my theory is if I spend a $5 on a game and I get maybe 8 hours worth out of it, it's not bad. See, but if you spend 40 quid on a game
and you get 6 hours, that's not okay. Like I agree with you, even though I bought The Order when it came out.
Oh, I heard that was shit.
It's not shit. The gameplay in it's all right, and it's a beautiful looking game.
Yeah.
But it's 6 hours long, man, and that's not okay. And I was going, no, because you can make it harder, and there's stuff to do, and it's so good looking that I will live in that world anyway. And I must have replayed that 8 times.
Yeah.
And then when I was looking at stuff to trade in, I was like, well, Batman's going because I've got 100%.
Yeah.
What else did I trade in? Fuck, no, they're gone. I can't remember. Resident Evil Revelations 2, which is really good, but it also feels like a last gen game, strangely enough. What else did I trade in? Fuck, I can't remember all that stuff that I traded in. I didn't have many, but there's ones that you just don't play for a while and you forget them. I really forgot it. And The Order, and I was like, because I was arguing with myself. I was going, no, as a point to myself, I have to keep hold of this. And I ended up trading it. It was a good decision because I was never going to play it again. But the good thing about The Order was it was a single player game. It didn't have any multiplayer shit. Didn't have any DLC.
Did it feel finished?
It was finished.
Right. Okay.
No,
I do like that.
Right. Okay. It felt finished for the game, but they could have made it longer, man. There's bits at the end. It teases for a sequel, which I'm not sure it deserves. But it is a strange one. But the Phantom Pain's fucking intense, man. It's so nuts. Keeping up to date with it is crazy. It gives you so much to do.
Yeah.
And if you love that series, then you're stuck with it. Cause it's just
I might maybe. Well, I just don't have a next gen console.
I only bought mine because I'm an idiot. I bought my PS4 in September last year, and it was just because I had that amount of money on me.
Right. Yeah.
It wasn't free. I've only recently got out of my overdraft, and I'm so happy with myself.
I'm still living in it.
You'll get out and you'll feel great. Trust me, being out of your overdraft is the
getting
most...
out of student debt. For the time.
I'm not worried about that. Being. Student debt, you just change your address twice, never fine. It's like getting out of TalkTalk. It's way easier than everyone thinks.
Yeah.
I just had not a spare 300 quid because it was in my overdraft, but I was like, do you know what? And you get Far Cry with it? Yeah, let's go for it. And I bought it, and Alex was like, do you like it? I was like, yeah, fucking and but the Phantom Pain, I've been not playing it because Alex is back, and I don't want her to feel like I've been ignoring her. It's like, what are you doing? You don't know what I'm doing.
Metal Sword, Snake needs me.
I'm fucking Snake.
Snake needs me.
You're not Snake. I was like, no, I'm Big Boss.
Right. Okay. Who have you been sponsored by today, Jordan?
Oh shit.
Oh. Would you like to know who I'm sponsored by while I think of something?
No, I know who I'm sponsored by.
You know who you're sponsored by?
Oh. Foxhound.
Foxhound.
Foxhound Special Forces.
Special Forces. Oh, is that the thing from Metal Gear Solid?
Metal Gear Solid 1. Yeah.
Okay.
And then they disband.
I have a very special sponsor today.
Okay.
Okay, right. Instead of the sponsor, I'm doing a shout out.
Okay.
Because I'm cheesy and shit. Because one of my friends from America, Kat, messaged me last week saying that, she was one of the first people that I started speaking to when I was in America, saying that she absolutely loved it, and so shout out to Kat.
Good last night,
Kat Price.
Kat
dedicated listener.
Does she have anything?
Huh?
Like, if you're shouting out somebody, you kind of promote them. Does she have a Twitter or something? Does she do anything?
I don't know. I don't know.
You fucked up.
There we go. All right. Okay. I'll come up. If there is, Kat can tell me.
I can tell you. Then you'll mention it next time.
Plug it next week.
I'll just plug my people in as well.
Yeah, go for it.
Second opinion.
Second opinion. Do they plug us? Fucking better.
They're fucking better.
They're fucking better.
I did speak to Scott about it, and he was like, "I'll plug you the next time we do it." But they don't do an episode as regular as us.
Right. Fair enough.
But they should. If they don't, I'll do it.